Right, here's a little trick I just came up with literally today, so this is hot off the press. I don't know whether I've invented it, period, but as far as I'm concerned, it's the first time I've come up with it. And basically, it's a simple way to check the oil, the gearbox oil on a Triumph Tiger Cub. Now, usually what you've got is you've got this combined drain and level plug here, which screws in to the underside of the engine, and basically you undo the big nut, the whole thing comes out to drain it. You undo the small nut, it opens up a passageway through this tube which gives you your oil level. All well and good, but you've got to mess about underneath the engine, and in the case of some of them, like my Trials Cub replica, you might have a crankcase guard or bash plate under there which might have to come off in order to access the thing. And in the case of my Scrambles Cub replica, which is still at the moment spending a lot of time over there on that bench, sat on a suitable support underneath the crankcase, I can't get access to check the gearbox oil on that one very easily. So I thought I'd give something a try that I'd wondered about for a little while, and I started off with this, and it's just a cable tie or zip tie if you prefer, if you're from across the pond. And I had reasonable results with this actually, but as you can see, it'll go in through the filler plug hole at the top. I've got it bent, incidentally, now this is vital, I've got it bent at 90 degrees at a length of 16 centimetres. Right, that's important, 16 centimetres, and it's bent to a 90 degree bend. That means you can pop it in there and it'll go all the way down until it reaches the bottom, right where your fold is at 16 centimetres. Now it might touch the bottom there, it might touch the bottom there, it might touch the bottom there. It goes a little further down if it hits that well. But basically, if you can dip 30 to 35 millimeters deep of oil on your dipstick, or your makeshift dipstick made from this cable tie, you're good to go. And just to sort of verify that, whether you can see this, from the base of the casing to the top extremity of that tube is about 35 millimeters. Now this is a late sort of centre split crankcase used on the later Tiger Cubs, and the filler hole, as we can see, is located fairly close to where the old distributor would have lived on some of the older models. The earlier ones, the side split engines, had their gearbox filler located further back, more rearward, but still the 16 centimetres seems to apply, and the 35 millimeters depth of oil. So I've tried dipping my Scrambles Cub replica, which has this type of engine, and I've got a good result. I haven't actually tried dipping my older Tiger Cub in this manner yet, but I think it should work. Obviously it's just the location of the filler holes are slightly different, but 16 centimeters to the 90 degree bend seems to work for both types of engine. I had mixed results with this one in my own engine, and I wasn't sure where I was bottoming out. Even though I was bottoming out, my readings of depths of oil were a little bit varied, so I decided I'd try and use this gas welding rod. Same principle applies. I've folded it at 90 degrees. It's 16 centimeters long from end to end, and it'll drop in quite nicely. We're just sort of hitting the bottom there as we're hitting the bend, and that's the early engine layout, and this is the later one. It'll go in here nicely all the way down. There it is. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my head torch on, and we're going to dip the oil in my Scrambles Cub replica and see what we got, and well, hopefully see what we've got, and I'll just demonstrate and verify that it works. Let's have a look. I'll put this the camera angle up a little, bear with me, and we'll carry this over. I've got it on its little tripod stand today. Now obviously I'm going in from the awkward side, beneath and beyond the carburettor, but I've got the filler plug open already. Let's see if we get this in there. Down it goes. Obviously the bend is important because you don't want the thing, anything you got dropping in and disappearing in there. We're right on the bottom there. There we are. We're certainly there or thereabouts for our depth of oil showing on that. And if we get the tape measure, perhaps we'll be able to see. In a minute. There we go. Yeah, we've got a whisker. Sorry, there we are. Probably a whisker under 35mm deep of oil there. I'm making a shadow. And hopefully we're seeing that. If not, you'll have to believe me, guys. But that's a pretty accurate way of determining whether you've got enough oil in your gearbox or not, because that's another thing. Using the level plug, you just pour oil in until it comes out. Now you don't know how much you need to add. With this method you can put oil in and do it all from the top and just check. Once you're hitting 35mm deep of oil on your dipstick, you know that the thing's full, and you never had to take your bash plate off or muck around underneath the engine or anything. Job's done. I know I've got enough oil in that gearbox. I'm good to go. So there's a little trick that I conjured up today that I thought I'd share for checking the oil in your Triumph Tiger Cub. Hope that helps some people and saves a bit of time and mess doing it that way. Thanks for watching.